Before the digital age of cable, before BET, MTV, or VH1, before the internet or streaming services, there was a cutting-edge show that not only taught a generation the latest dance crazes, but also celebrated and uplifted black culture like never before. The architect of this revolution was the Soul Train conductor himself, Don Cornelius, born in the Windy City in 1936. As a high school student, he sketched cartoons for the school newspaper depicting life on the south side of Chicago. After graduation, he enlisted in the United States Marines and spent 18 months stationed at a Korean airbase. When he returned home, he sought different jobs in pursuit of livelihood. He sold car insurance and worked as a police officer for the Chicago PD. In 1956, he married his childhood sweetheart Dolores Harrison, and they produced 2 sons, Anthony and Raymond. Legend has it that during a traffic stop, the driver, an editorialist from WVON, was blown away by Don's voice and suggested he come work at the station. He started as a substitute disc jockey on the graveyard shift. A year later, he landed a part-time gig at a TV network where he hosted a news segment focused on civil rights issues. He took calls from viewers, allowing them to express their opinions.
Hello?
Yes.
Yes, do you have an opinion as to who our most effective and relevant black leader is?
Yes, Jesse Jackson.
Why do you feel Jesse Jackson is our most effective leader?
While the dance program Red Hot and Blues was already popular among young children in the city, Don decided to organize a series of music events for teenagers at area high schools known as record hops. These gatherings kept teens off the bustling streets of Chicago. As the events gained traction, he envisioned them becoming a beacon of positivity on television, contrasting media portrayals of black youth, which often focused on negative stereotypes. In 1970, he persuaded his employer at WCIU to launch Soul Train, a variety show modeled after but not copying Dick Clark's American Bandstand. His creation came with a distinct twist. It celebrated black artistry, bringing a new flavor to a tried-and-true format. Teenagers lined up around the block to be a part of the first taping. Don hosted the show live every weekday afternoon, promising to take viewers on the hippest trip in America. He invested $400 of his own money to produce the pilot episode, whose first guest was Chi-Town native Jerry Butler. After achieving a year of success, and in an attempt to become a syndicated show, he relocated to Los Angeles, with the local version continuing until 1976. Don was always impeccably dressed in sharp suits, sky-high platform shoes, and a large, neat afro. The Soul Train line made its debut on the 5th episode, where dancers showed off their best moves directly to the camera. Members of the audience did more than just move and groove. 2 participants would get to do the Soul Train scramble board. It was a magnetic easel equipped with Fisher-Price letters that had to be unscrambled within 60 seconds to spell the name of that show's performer or a notable figure in black history. While Soul Train initially targeted black audiences, its appeal transcended racial boundaries, making it a platform that bridged racial divides in music. Elton John appeared in 1973, David Bowie in 1975, and Hall & Oates in 1982, further emphasizing its inclusive ethos. Don signed off every show with his "Too Cool for School" catchphrase.
You can bet your last money it's all gonna be a stone gas, honey. Always in parting, we're gonna wish you love, peace, and soul.
Over the years, he made appearances in movies and TV commercials.
You know what he's inspired me to do? He's inspired me to run for president of the United States. Check it out, Ace. Mohammed Johnson, black president. Come on, Maceo.
Right on.
Am I crying?
No.
Well, it wouldn't surprise me if I was. I can't do anything with this.
Why not?
I need production value. Don't thank me. I know, I'm too nice. Let's get into trouble, baby.
In 1975, he co-founded Soul Train Records, launching releases from The Whisperers, Shalimar, and Carrie Lucas, but the label folded in less than 36 months. In 1976, Don and Dolores' marriage had taken its course, and they divorced quietly after 20 years. During the 80s, Cornelius experienced a severe headache that lasted several days, accompanied by occasional dizzy spells and a stiff neck. He was diagnosed with a critical vascular condition in his brain that necessitated immediate surgery. After months of recovery, he appeared to have no lasting disabilities. However, by the end of the decade, he started having convulsive seizures, signaling unexpected neurological changes. He continued to expand by founding the Soul Train Music Awards, the first annual award show dedicated exclusively to black musicians. Building on its success, Cornelius later introduced the Soul Train Comedy Awards. In 1993, he stepped down from his role as host, feeling that his style had become outdated amidst evolving trends. In the interim, Soul Train featured rotating guest hosts until 1997, when comedian Maestro Clark took on the role for 2 years. He was succeeded by Shamar Moore in 1999, followed by Dorian Gregory in 2003, who continued as the host until it concluded in 2006. The franchise was sold 2 years later. From 1995 to 2005, a separate award show aired honoring black female artists for their contributions to R&B, jazz, hip-hop, and gospel. In 1997, Don was recognized with a star on the Hollywood Walk of Fame. An action figure symbolizing his likeness was once on an episode of The Fresh Prince of Bel-Air.
Welcome to the Soul Train 25th Anniversary Special. I'm Don Cornelius. I'd just like to say, get that damn flashlight out of my face!
Are you still playing with that doll?
Action figures, that's so hard to understand.
In 2001, despite warnings from friends and family, he married Victoria Chapman, a former Miss Ukraine and adult film actress 30 years younger than him. The concerns of his loved ones proved to be well-founded when in 2008, an incident at their Los Angeles home led to Don's arrest. He pled no contest to misdemeanor domestic violence and was sentenced to 3 years probation, even though he adamantly expressed that the confrontation was instigated by Victoria, leading to mutual acts of aggression. Their divorce was finalized in 2009. As part of the settlement, he was ordered to pay $10,000 monthly spousal support, a sum he publicly criticized as being well beyond the guidelines. In 2011, Chicago hosted a free concert to celebrate the 40th anniversary of the first nationally syndicated episode of Soul Train. During the event, Don was honored with a street sign bearing his name and the Soul Train logo. At approximately 3 a.m. on February 1, 2012, Don phoned his son Anthony. The wariness in his voice was palpable as he confessed, "There's too much going on, and I don't know how much longer I can take this." Sensing the gravity of his father's words, Anthony immediately offered to come over to provide comfort. His dad told him the back door would be unlocked. As Anthony entered the house, an unusual smell of smoke was in the air. It was only as he ventured further inside that he realized it was gunfire. His heart sank. He found his father in a chair with a gun loosely in his right hand and a bullet wound to his right temple. He called 911. When EMT arrived, they began CPR as they rushed him to Cedars-Sinai Medical Center. Don arrived to the emergency room where, despite all life-saving measures, he was pronounced dead at 4:56 a.m. at the age of 75. In the wake of his father's passing, Anthony faced a barrage of questions from interviewers eager to uncover what was troubling his dad. Each time, he could only speculate as his father's behavior seemed completely normal with no obvious signs of distress. He also was unaware that he owned a gun. Tragically, the world is left to ponder the depth of the struggles that Don Cornelius kept hidden, wishing they could have offered help. Searching for closure, a longtime friend recalled moments when Don appeared forgetful and aggravated. During an interview a year before his death, he fought to remember words to his iconic closing catchphrase, prompting his friend to believe that his memory loss had been significantly affecting him.
Well, we want you to do it again.
Okay, as in parting, always as in parting, we wish you peace.
And what about soul and stuff?
With his visionary leadership, the impact Don Cornelius made on black culture is truly unprecedented. His legacy extends beyond the groundbreaking platforms he created. It is woven into the cultural bridges he built and the lives he continues to inspire. Thanks for watching.